Minutes after President Biden announced new sanctions on Russia, senior FBI cyber officials told U.S. businesses to be on the lookout for cyber attacks. Not the first time we've heard warnings from government officials. Last year, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm warned hackers could take down the U.S. energy grid. In 2016, we saw a cyber hack in the Democratic Party and a 2020 breach that included the Department of Homeland Security, Commerce, and Agriculture departments. Last year alone, Russian hackers shut down the Colonial Pipeline. Remember that? One of the largest used for transporting oil in the U.S. They also shut down meat supplier JBS. They ended up paying $11 million in ransom to the hackers. The Massachusetts Steamship Authority, a ferry service, was hit with an attack as well. Now, those hacks came from rogue criminals. But is the U.S. prepared for cyber attacks from the Russian government? Let's bring in now founder and CEO of Reach Out Technology, Rick Jordan. Rick, let's start with what you make of what's happening of these reports that the communications are out in the eastern sections, and there were new cyber attacks today on Ukrainian government websites.
Yeah, it was interesting this morning. I was about to go on when that news was breaking on another network, and you paint a grim picture as far as what's happened over the last 5 years in the United States and now in the Ukraine. Things are looking pretty grim. I know just this morning 2 banks were hit as well, and you found individual citizens that showed their balances in those accounts as $0. That was quickly resolved, but that's pretty scary. These cyber attacks really, in my opinion, are a form of psychological warfare using technical tools. Yeah. Because it's really just lowering the morale of all the citizens in the Ukraine.
Well, we touched on it on the way into you there, and it's what I thought about today is how these were Russian gangs that have essentially crippled our infrastructure. I mean, Russia has said that they didn't have anything to do with it, but we haven't really seen what the Kremlin can or is willing to do, right, or might do during this invasion.
Sure, no doubt. And we do have historical evidence that this is how the nation state of Russia operates, is they have state-sponsored criminals, as you've said, but they will fund them. So it's almost adding like a layer of anonymity so that the Russian government has plausible deniability in some of these scenarios, but they're still saying, hey, go out, and it's almost like free enterprise to say, go attack America. We got your back.
When they shut this pipeline down, it seemed like we all thought, wow. And I think we were all sort of surprised that it was as easy as it was. I'm worried about something we haven't thought of. And when that happens, it's critical, right? I mean, we're talking about power grids and food chains and satellites and communications. What worries you the most about what could be targeted?
For sure. I think satellites is probably one of the biggest ones that I would think, because that controls a lot of communications. It's not just cellular networks like the Ukraine is getting hit right now. At least we would assume they're getting hit right now. But it is every day that U.S. satellites get hit by nation states like Russia and China, whether it's lasers shined at them, cyber attacks, and they're small enough to where they don't make too big of a dent in day-to-day life. But imagine all of a sudden not being able to transfer funds or being able to make a payment or not being able to make a call just because a main satellite goes out, or worst case scenario, right, not being able to access your Facebook feed.
Right. The troubling thing about this too, Rick, is that it appears by all experts we've had on, there's very little we can do. I mean, we can try to prepare, but in the end, there really aren't any guarantees of protection here.
There's nothing. And I know you talked about, the power grid getting hit a couple years ago, but that was also the same in the Ukraine. In 2016, the power grid was attacked by Russia, and it took out a portion of the grid in the entire country. And that was part of the whole invasion of the peninsula that took place at that time, too. So we haven't, I guess, seen a lot of the capabilities of some of these nation states right now. But I've got to tell you that the collusion between Russia and China and the latest agreements that they have for natural energy and everything kind of worries me. And I feel that China would probably diplomatically back this invasion of Russia into the Ukraine, whether it's by tanks and guns or whether it's by cyber warfare. I think we'll see them back them as well.
All right. Founder and CEO of Reach Out Technology, Rick Jordan, it's great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.